It's showtime.
Hey everyone, Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more. And this is a review for Caravan of Courage, an Ewok adventure, or Ewok 1. Title's kind of confusing, but you get the idea. So it's still a little weird at first, seeing myself without glasses now. I recommend you check out my LASIK video, my experience with LASIK, so you guys can get an idea of why, or, you know, the experience of how LASIK is and how I even did it in the first place. But I no longer need glasses now, which is great. This is an awesome experience. But enough about that, let's talk about Ewok 1. Now, I have an interesting history with this movie, and it kind of left me scarred as a kid. So, back in the day when I watched this, I was extremely young and watching this movie, and there was one moment where it just kind of freaked me out, and that was with the Gorax. Not the Lorax, the Gorax, the monster, the main monster in the movie, Ewok 1. Back in the day, there was no ratings for scary imagery. And since I was young, when I saw the Gorax, it freaked me the fuck out. It scared the shit out of me, man. It really did. And I refused to watch the movie until a certain time, just to understand everything. But now that this movie is on Disney Plus, with the releasing the vintage Star Wars movies, you know, Ewok 1, Ewok 2, for some reason the Clone Wars series is on there, which I'm looking forward to watching. I thought it would be a perfect time now to watch these movies now. And yeah, so this movie really left me scarred as a kid because of the Gorax. And looking back on it now, like, it's not scary. But if you're like under 10, like, this movie will like scare you the fuck out. It really will. I remember I was pretty young at the time, so it just really like scared the shit out of me just seeing the Gorax. But everything else was not a big deal. It was just the Gorax itself. So this movie was directed by John Cordy and executive produced by George Lucas and coming out in 1984, straight to television. So I do want to go into the development on why this was even pitched in the first place. So sometime after the release of The Return of the Jedi, George Lucas had the idea for a television special involving the Ewoks. The idea emerged from the desire to make a movie for his young daughter Amanda, who is a particular fan of the Ewoks. Producer Thomas G. Smith pitched the idea of the major television networks, all of whom turned him down except ABC, who agreed on the condition that the project could fill 2 hours of television. Lucas later commented on the production, "I hadn't done any TV, and it was a chance to use many people in the company who hadn't had much experience with live-action production and experiment a little. The economics of TV are vastly different than the economics of film. It was done for very little money. I think $3 million was the budget for this film." John Cordy served as director and cinematographer for the film, which was written by Lucas and Bob Caro. Cordy and Smith held auditions for most of the roles in Los Angeles and Marin County. The only roles which weren't auditioned were those of Warwick Davis and the other Ewok actors, who had already proved themselves in Return of the Jedi. Pre-production began in April 1984 and filming began that June, taking place throughout Marin County, California, and the California Redwoods. The film shot for 8 weeks, with the shooting schedule structured around child labor laws as well as the children's school schedules. Davis had a tutor on set with whom he studied for 4 hours per day. Lucas himself directed the film's reshoots and edited some of the film's scenes. Davis also filmed one of the shots. After production was complete, Lucas and Smith oversaw post-production. So pretty interesting stuff. This movie does star Eric Walker as Mace, Aubrey Miller as Sindel, and Warwick Davis, who was in Return of the Jedi, as Wicket. And one of these days I will have to review Willow, because Warwick Davis is also in that, and the fact that he even gets his own movie, I think that's pretty fucking cool. Now, in the beginning of this movie, in various moments, you'll notice there is narration, and it's by Burl Ives, who was this famous singer and did a lot of narration back in the day, including the classic Rudolph film. Now, in this film, Sindel and Mace are separated from their parents who crash landed on the planet before being captured by the Gorax. Sindel and Mace are looking out for their parents and run into these cute and cuddly Ewoks, including Wicket. And they don't trust them at first and learn the hard way to eventually trust them. So they eventually gather a gang, or a caravan of courage, to go to the Gorax's lair to free their parents. Now, I must reiterate and emphasize that this is a children's film and a television movie, and it didn't come out in theaters. Back in the day when television films were a thing. This is not meant to be a giant blockbuster Star Wars film, a must-see film, but a small spin-off film that was filmed at the George Lucas Ranch, mostly. And the film is actually C-canon, or Legends, which is pretty neat. So going into it more, the film was classified as C-canon in the Holocron Continuity Database and was officially set in 3 ABY. In the novel Tyrant's Test, Sindel is shown to have become a reporter on Coruscant during the Yevon Crisis. Sindel receives the so-called Plat Malar tapes from Admiral Drayson and leaks the story of the only survivor of the Yevon attack of Polnio. In the novel Legacy of the Force Fury, Alana's entertainment monitor is displaying an entertainment broadcast in which Ewoks spoke basic and befriended shipwrecked little girls. A Star Wars Battlefront's Survivors of Endor map includes the Gorax Cave, complete with rearing spiders and an empty cage hanging from the ceiling. Now, I actually didn't think this film was as good as I expected, but I still had fun with it. The Ewoks really helped with the film, and eventually Mace and Sindel grew on me, and they actually bonded with the Ewoks a lot more too. Unlike Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I'm going to be short and sweet, so I'm going to give Ewok 1, or Caravan of Courage, a... If you're an Ewok fan, you will have a good time with it. Yes, it's corny, but it's fun kids movie with Ewoks, and who doesn't like Ewoks? Oh yes, heartless sons of bitches. And the next movie I'm going to be reviewing will be Ewok 2, or Ewok Battle for Endor, which will be my next review. I'm actually really looking forward to that because I remember having a great time with that movie. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below. Tell me what you think of this movie in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandalorian brothers and sisters, next time. Ooh, yeah!